Scott Brown here. In today's exciting episode, we put this plywood ceiling up with negative detail. We're finishing it off this morning. And this video is also sponsored by Plytech. A bit more about that later. But for now, welcome to another exciting episode. You didn't think about this on the shore, eh?
No, you don't.
This is a bit daunting. Look at this. Hey doggies. So here's the ceiling. So plywood is going to go like that. And we need nogs to go like that. You got your full sheet, and then we're going to stagger it. That's going to help us know where to put the nogs.
Pretty good place actually. How far's the beach?
Timber's really dry and quite dense, so the Koki has got the power, fortunately. But if it didn't, man, this would be hard work. And now we paint at the sheet joints, just like that. That'll be the negative detail that you see at the sheet joints. Look at this piece here, nothing is square or straight. It's almost like framing a roof, framing the ceiling.
Bit of a weird position. Yeah, I saw the video, bro. One man lifted. Good luck with that. Just kidding, I'm a helpful guy.
Pardo's showing off the fact that it's a one-man bench. A slightly modified Ron Pork workbench, 600mm wide.
Like a massage table.
If you think of getting a massage, you're sorely mistaken. Now these are a very experimental part of the bench. So that goes like that. Force it over.
Is this your own invention or what?
Oh yeah.
Bro, you think you're carpentry 1-3? No way.
Definitely not. This is to substitute for the fact that my bench is skinnier. We're going to be putting full sheets on it, and when you cut a full sheet in half, I don't want it to fall off the bench. So this is to support it. But I think when we start moving the sheets on it, that's where we're going to have a problem, bro. Because it would be quite easy to snap it. So
Still something.
it's something. It's an idea. The SPC version of the Ron Pork workbench.
I like it. I like it.
I can snip it.
It's beautiful stuff. Over there on the corner by the slope ceiling is going into the straight wall, so we need to cut an angle on it. And we also need to cut it from 13 mils to 0 because the wall's a bit out of square from the rafters.
Yeah, it's good.
So we're going to glue it as much as possible with this high strength glue that we're using. We use the same stuff on the walls. Back at the other job, this version of it is black. So if it does squeeze out, you're less likely to see it. So So combination of this and 16 gauge pins. We're using as few pins as possible and we're letting the glue do the work. That's why we're gluing every 100 millimeters and using a very high strength glue. This glue is rated to like 320 kilos or something. So we're hoping that does all the holding, and the pins that we put in every 600 millimeters are permanent clamps, is the way that Ron Pork puts it. So the 16 gauge wasn't too bad there?
Oh, yeah, hard. That's good. This one, anyway.
That's the nail there.
Barely noticed.
Barely notice. Alright, this sheet here is cut almost to size. It's got a big fat angle on it to go with the beam, so we're going to put it up and see what it looks like. Lunchtime. So that sheet is kind of like that. We're keeping it the same width as the sheet down there, and then we measure up to the rafter. Pato's just drawing that straight little bit there at the top. And because the sheets are 2/440 rather than 2/4, we leave them long, cut all that, and then we push it up and trim the straight part, this part. It's easier to trim the straight end rather than trying to trim the angled end. I think Alright, day 2 of installing the plywood sheets. We overlooked something when we were nogging the ceiling. One of the rafters has got quite a sag in it. Go for it. Awesome. Downside of using the vacuum with a planer, that filled quick. This is just a straight bit of plywood. We've squared that off the rafter, so the rafter comes down and we've got this square point. Now before we cut that sheet, a little word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Plytech. They're the guys that provided this material. This is Ambience Birch Pre-finished, so if you're in New Zealand and you want some nice plywood, I would recommend this. We wouldn't use it, we didn't like it, and I like this particular grain a lot. It's very fine and it has a light color to it, which looks really good on the ceiling. It lightens the place up. They have a whole bunch of different plywoods in this range, in the Ambience range. They've got a Kumi and some other ones, and you can get pre-finished or not pre-finished. So we decided to go with pre-finished because once it's on the ceiling, that's it. That's all you have to do. A few tiny little pinhole nails and you get a beautiful finish. So yeah, Plytech. I'll put a link in the description. Check them out if you're in New Zealand. Pato is outside using the jigsaw to cut a scribe line that we just made. And that is along this funny wall here. So to the eye that looks pretty good, but it's actually quite crooked. But rather than cut our sheets dead straight, we're gonna follow the wall. Because when you stand down here and look up at the ceiling, you're gonna see an even black line rather than a straight line and a crooked line next to each other.
$31 there.
31.
And 31 there as well. Sweet. So we're good. So 39.
Take 39 off our sheet and we'll end up about there, which is where we want to be.
That is perfect, right?
Final piece, Pato.
Almost it.
Finishing off the puzzle.
Want to chop that?
Sure. That's it, guys. We literally just had to open another tube of glue for this last tiny piece in the corner.
Classic, eh?
Classic. We're done.
Yeah, right.
Woo!